The Meridian collection looks great in every single space. It's so universal and it's so customizable. You can do any shape, any size, anything you want.
HGTV star David Bromstad makes $70,000 per episode and lives in $1 million dream home. But in 2015, his ex-boyfriend dragged him to court with shocking accusations about drugs and escorts. The lawsuit claimed over $1 million was missing. Then came a social media post in 2025 that terrified his fans. What really happened? And why did he later admit he needed to be sober and living the life I was intended to live? Today, we're uncovering the hidden battles behind America's favorite lottery dream host. David Bromstad was born on August 17, 1973, in a tiny Minnesota town called Cokato, where the population was barely over 1,700 at the time. His childhood was shaped by open farmlands, freezing winters, and a community where everyone knew each other. Until the age of 14, David lived in that rural setup with his parents and 3 older siblings before they moved to Plymouth, a suburb near Minneapolis. Life in Cokato wasn't fancy, but it was full of warmth and small-town values that David still speaks fondly of, saying he loved the simple, grounded lifestyle of the Midwest. His mother, Diane Marlis Bromstad, was born on February 29, 1944, which means she only technically celebrates her birthday once every 4 years. Diane was Swedish-German and worked as a nurse before dedicating herself fully to raising her 4 children. She filled their modest home with color, crafts, and care. Long winter nights became creative bonding time where she introduced David to quilting and textures, early lessons in art that stayed with him. On Mother's Day 2021, he called her his sweetest, most wonderful, sassy, loving, and kind mom ever, showing how deep that bond still runs. David's father, Richard Harold David Bromstad, born April 15, 1943, had served in the U.S. Air Force during the tense Korean War years of the early 60s. Of full Norwegian heritage, he came home to work blue-collar jobs in local factories and always preferred a humble diner over a fancy restaurant. On Father's Day, David described him as godly, loving, and deliciously competitive, a man who passed down strong values without needing to say much. It's clear where David's down-to-earth attitude and hard-working spirit come from. Growing up, David shared his life with 3 siblings, Dean, Dinell, and Dion. Dean stayed close to home and became known for his legendary corn recipes. Dinell pursued education and family, while Dion, who studied interior design, teamed up with David to start a design business called Dragonfly Designs. That business led to David getting a dragonfly tattoo to honor the project and their sibling partnership. In 2021, both sisters appeared in a holiday special episode decorating David's Florida home, giving fans a glimpse into their goofy, close-knit bond. Even as a small child, David showed a spark for art that couldn't be ignored. At just 4 years old, he painted the basement walls with food coloring and fabric dye. And instead of scolding him, his parents preserved it like a gallery. At Wayzata High School, his passion only grew stronger. Despite facing relentless bullying, some of it shockingly encouraged by a school administrator, he held on to his dream of becoming a Disney animator. He later said he had no idea how he made it through those painful years, but he did, graduating in 1992 with his goal still intact. When David Bromstad left his small hometown of Cokato, Minnesota, barely 2,600 people strong, he was chasing the only dream he'd known since he was 5 years old. Becoming a Disney animator wasn't just a career goal, it was his identity. He landed at Ringling College of Art and Design in Sarasota, Florida, hoping the school's legendary reputation would launch him straight into Disney's animation department. The move was jarring. Florida's Gulf Coast felt like another planet compared to rural Minnesota. and David admitted it overwhelmed him, but he stuck it out because he was certain it would get him closer to Mickey Mouse's house. He chose illustration over animation at first, because Ringling had the best instructors for drawing, and drawing, he believed, was the bridge to Disney. But then, something broke. Just 2 months into school, he took an animation elective and was blindsided by a truth he didn't expect. He hated it. The structure, the repetition, the hours of grinding frame by frame, it all clashed with the vision he'd carried in his head for 15 years. He panicked. The thing he had clung to for most of his life now felt like a lie. Instead of quitting, he pivoted. He decided to double down on his raw talent and become the best drawer and painter he could be. He stopped trying to squeeze himself into a dream that no longer fit and started building a new one without fully knowing where it would lead. During college, his life looked nothing like the typical student party scene. While others were hopping between bars, David could usually be found at the 24-hour Denny's on Tamiami Trail. It wasn't just about the pancakes. He was drawn to the people, the mix of punk kids, painters, loners, and weirdos who made up Sarasota's nighttime pulse. They fascinated him. He sat, observed, absorbed. That diner crowd eventually inspired his senior thesis titled Nightlife at Denny's. He even borrowed a real chair and table from the restaurant to make his thesis presentation feel more alive. He got an A. And more than that, he got clarity. Ringling didn't just teach him art, it taught him to see the world in layers of color, complexity, and chaos. His color theory courses left a deep impression, so much so that later in life, people in the industry simply started calling him the color guy. By the time he graduated in 1996 with a bachelor's degree in illustration, he had course-corrected his whole life. And ironically, even after realizing animation wasn't his passion, he still ended up working for Disney. But instead of storyboards or character designs, he found himself folding shirts. His first Disney job was as a visual merchandiser for their retail stores. He was the guy arranging t-shirts, moving boxes, aligning shelves. It felt like a cruel joke. This was not the dream. His boss saw it too. One day, she told him, "You're too talented. I can tell you're bored." That moment pushed him to give up his benefits and transfer to Disney's Parks production company. He went from retail floors to the world behind the scenes. There, everything changed. For the next year and a half, David sculpted massive installations for Walt Disney World. Finally, it clicked. This was the kind of creative, hands-on work he had been craving. When the temp job ended, he didn't walk away. He stayed on as a contractor, spending 6 more years building immersive environments, not just for Disney, but for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure too. He became the guy who had a hand in almost every retail space. If there was a store in those parks, chances are it had a piece of David in it. Sculpture, painting, props, something. He even taught himself carpentry along the way, expanding his skill set every chance he got. But then came 9/11. After the 2001 attacks, the theme park industry went into survival mode. Bromstad lost his job, and things got tight fast. Rent kept coming, groceries weren't going to pay for themselves, and his bank balance wasn't built to last. He was struggling. Then, almost randomly, a guy from his gym, someone in the interior design scene, asked to see David's portfolio. It wasn't some big job, just a chance to maybe do artwork for hotels. But when David showed up the next day with his colorful, playful, Disney-style designs, something clicked. The designer didn't see hotel art, he saw potential. And instead of offering him the hotel gig, he threw David a curveball. What if he designed kids' rooms instead? That offer changed everything. At first it might have sounded strange, but for David, it made perfect sense. He'd been building props at Disney for 6 years, mastering carpentry on the side. He knew how to turn a blank space into a story. Kids' bedrooms, he explained later, were basically all about props. So it was second nature. And he didn't just decorate those rooms, he transformed them. Each one had to scream excitement, to spark imagination. He said the goal was simple. Make a kid walk in and say, "This is the coolest bed I've ever seen." That idea, the wow factor, stuck with him. It became a design philosophy that would define the rest of his career. Fast forward to 2006. David was 32, living in Miami Beach, and a friend pushed him to audition for HGTV's first-ever Design Star competition. He jumped in. David showed up with an artist's mindset. Every wall, every piece of furniture, he treated it like a blank canvas. His style was slick, modern, and fun. Judges immediately noticed he wasn't just another decorator. He was bold, a little risky, but always artistic. When others played it safe, he went big. Then came the third episode, the Wild Card Challenge. This wasn't your average design gig. Contestants had to create a room using stuff from unexpected places. David went to a pet store and built a space so original that one judge called it absolute genius. That moment locked him in as the frontrunner. Week after week, he kept impressing, never falling into the trap of safe or boring. He took chances, turned weird into wonderful, and earned the kind of praise most designers dream about. By the finale on September 10, 2006, the suspense was real, but to viewers, the outcome was clear. David Bromstad won. The final announcement came after 58 minutes of build-up. Host Clive Pierce revealed his name, and in that slow-motion TV moment, David broke into tears and hugs. Along with his new show, he got a brand-new Mercury Mariner SUV. Some reports say he also scored a Ford Mustang GT convertible separately. That one became his first-ever new car. But even without the wheels, David's win was massive. He wasn't just the winner, he became HGTV's first real star. David Bromstad came back to HGTV's Design Star in 2007, just a year after winning Season 1. In Season 2, he appeared as a guest judge right in the premiere episode. But it was Episode 7, Island Dreams, that people remember the most. It aired on September 9, 2007. The two finalists, Kim Miles and Todd Davis, were given $10,000 each to turn old hotel rooms in Hawaii into stunning tropical escapes. David was there, giving them emotional support and some creative guidance. A week later, on September 16th, the finale aired. Kim Miles was announced as the winner after more than 900,000 viewers voted. She didn't just win the title, she also got a Mercury Mariner SUV and her own show called Miles of Style. Todd got the same car as a prize too, so it wasn't a total loss. 4 years later, in 2011, David wasn't just visiting anymore. He was the full-time mentor for Design Star Season 6, which started on July 11th. This time, the show was in New York City, and there were 12 designers battling it out. Tanika Ray was the new host, but David focused on helping the contestants build their on-camera presence. He brought his own experience as a past winner into every challenge. He helped them get through the White Box Challenge, a dream kitchen transformation, and even a challenge where the final three had to redesign a house the size of a closet. Just 86 square feet. Meg Caswell won that season, and Carl Spanholz came in second. David taught them how to explain design choices in a way that would connect with TV audiences, constantly reminding them how important it was to master color theory and design basics. Then came 2012, and things changed again. David was now both the host and mentor for Design Star Season 7. It premiered on May 29th. Originally, Tanika Ray was supposed to return as host, but plans changed. The show also moved to Los Angeles. Contestants had to juggle tough design challenges and camera presence at the same time. David guided them through it all while also hosting the elimination rounds. Judges Vern Yip and Genevieve Gorder were back to evaluate everything from execution to screen presence. Danielle Colding stood out from the beginning and managed to win the season, eventually earning her own HGTV show. David's role was double the work, but gave him double the influence. Only a few weeks after that, David was back again. This time, it was Design Star All-Stars. The show started airing on July 31, 2012. It had 6 returning contestants: Leslie Ezel and Kelly Clements from Season 6, Dan Vickery from Season 4, Tom Vecchione from Season 5, Hilary Younger from Season 7, and Josh Johnson, better known as Sparkle Josh, from Season 2. The competition took place in Dallas, and the prize was $25,000 plus a guest spot on an HGTV show. David hosted and mentored, while Genevieve and Vern judged again. There was a rooftop white box challenge where they had just 2 days and access to the fancy Pacific Design Center, which was a big upgrade from the usual limited supply runs. Some well-known guest judges also dropped by, including actress Emily Proctor and HGTV stars Carter Oosterhuis and Monica Peterson. At the end of it all, Leslie Ezel won and became the first official Design Star All-Stars champion. Back in 2009, before some of these big hosting roles, David was already expanding his HGTV presence. One of his standout guest appearances was on Bang for Your Buck, which aired between 2009 and 2011. The show was all about helping people get the best return on their renovation investments. David appeared during this time while also hosting Color Splash, which was already in its 3rd season. He showed that his talent went beyond just one show. He also popped up in HGTV and Design at Your Door, gradually becoming one of the most recognized faces on the network. These appearances helped lay the groundwork for his next big hit, My Lottery Dream Home, which would launch in 2015 and grow into one of HGTV's most popular shows. His new show, Color Splash, premiered March 19, 2007. It ran for 10 seasons, 134 episodes of transforming dull, tired rooms into spaces bursting with life. David had a wild method. He'd pick paint colors last, sometimes hours before the makeover began. Why? Because the accessories and energy of the room guided the color. He wasn't planning around color, he was letting color react to the space. Early episodes were shot in San Francisco, then later in Miami, when the show moved closer to home. And he always left behind something special, a painting of his own. It wasn't just a makeover, it was personal. By the time Color Splash ended in 2012, David had become more than a host. He was HGTV's resident color genius. He appeared on HGTV'd, Bang for Your Buck, Design Star as a guest judge, and even helped contestants through challenges. His reputation crossed TV boundaries. In 2011, he was named to the OUT 100 list, sharing space with names like Ricky Martin and Julianne Moore. That same year, the Human Rights Campaign honored him with the Visibility Award for being proudly and openly himself in the spotlight. David Bromstad's story begins on the Gulf Coast in July 2015, where he kicked off Beach Flip. 4 teams took on a brutally intense 8-week challenge in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Their mission: transform outdated 1980s beach homes with terrible layouts and clashing wall colors. Each team had the same starting point and competed for a grand $50,000 prize, plus $2,500 weekly wins to boost their budgets. David wasn't just hosting, he was in the thick of it, mentoring alongside Nicole Curtis and Josh Temple. From master bedrooms to full kitchen overhauls, every corner mattered. The finale crowned Martha Montross and Alex Bohr from Chicago, who wowed Baldwin and Mobile County real estate experts with the highest value increase. With only 4 days for each challenge, the pressure was real, but so were the views. That Gulf backdrop elevated every scene. Only 4 months earlier, in March 2015, My Lottery Dream Home debuted. By now, David has helped over 200 winners live out their dream purchases. Some had a few $100,000, others tens of millions. There was the unforgettable 2018 episode when John from Massachusetts scratched a $10 million ticket and relocated to Hollywood, Florida. David showed him estates with private yacht docks and open waterfronts. That format stuck, 3 to 5 property tours per episode, each showing luxurious amenities like private beaches or even helicopter pads. The secret to the show's success wasn't just the homes, but how David helped winners stay grounded while navigating sudden wealth. His design, eye, and charm guided them toward meaningful, lasting decisions, not flashy impulses. Then came 2021, when the show pulled back the curtain on David's own life. After 4 years of searching, he bought his dream home, a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom Tudor-style property in Winter Park for $975,000, despite it being listed at $950,000 and over his original budget. But the outdoor kitchen and backyard sold him instantly. "It hit me hard," he confessed. He didn't stop there. In 2022, he began heavy renovations, a gaming room, in-home theater, a massive primary suite upstairs with balconies, a walk-in closet, and a signature pink bathroom. By July 2024, he admitted the costs had doubled his estimates, but the result was a reflection of his personality. Bold, colorful, luxurious. That same spring of 2021, he competed in Rock the Block Season 2, teaming up with Tiffany Brooks in Charleston. They had just 1 month and $225,000 to renovate 3-story homes. Their smart move? Adding a 6th bedroom and 4th bathroom on the top floor to increase value. Their kitchen glowed with luxury finishes and bold designs. They faced strong competition: Nate Berkus and Jeremiah Brent, Mike Holmes and Allison Victoria, and Brian and Mika Kleinschmidt. Despite their efforts and strategic design choices, David and Tiffany didn't win a single challenge. In the end, it was the Kleinschmidts who earned the victory and got their names on the street sign. Fast forward to Season 18 of My Lottery Dream Home, which premiered in July 2025. David's earning about $70,000 per episode, one of HGTV's highest rates, totaling nearly $500,000 annually. He travels coast to coast: Florida mansions, Tennessee lakeside cabins, ski retreats in Massachusetts, and exclusive Hamptons properties. The show's consistency and expanding footprint speak to David's staying power. He may earn less per episode than the Property Brothers' $150,000 peak in 2017, but his reach and relatability make him a giant in his own right. But his rise wasn't without controversy. In December 2015, ex-boyfriend Jeffrey Glasgow sued him for over $1 million, alleging David misused shared funds on drugs and escorts after 11 years together. The case was dismissed outright. The judge found the claims baseless and even sanctioned Glasgow for filing a frivolous lawsuit. David's lawyer said it best: "This was desperation, not truth." Then came August 2016, when David's father Richard nearly died from a heart valve failure. His resting heart rate had spiked to 136 BPM. David dropped everything and rushed to the hospital. He paused filming Color Splash and shared the terrifying ordeal with fans on Facebook. Thankfully, his father recovered, and 5 years later, David honored him in a heartfelt Father's Day message. Tragedy struck again in July 2015 when David's best friend, Greg Girard, a graphic designer, suffered a hemorrhagic stroke that left him almost completely paralyzed. Medical costs soared to $100,000. Greg's elderly parents moved in to help. David helped raise $25,000 through a GoFundMe campaign and shared Greg's progress online, where he slowly began walking again. It was a painful reminder of how quickly life can change. David's coming out story adds even more depth. On Design Star in 2006, he said yes when asked directly if he was gay. But the truth ran deeper. He grew up in a Christian household in Minnesota in the 1980s, where over 600 students once made obscene gestures toward him in the cafeteria, joined by a clueless school principal. That left scars. It took 10 more years for him to fully accept himself. In 2023, while hiking 2,000 steps up Norway's Rhinebringen, he posted a powerful message. Feels good to be present, sober, and living the life I was intended to live. It confirmed his long journey through addiction and toward peace. In May 2025, a single Instagram photo sent fans into a panic. David posted a shot of himself with an oxygen tube in his nose, lying down with no explanation. Fans feared the worst. Comments flooded in. The next day, he posted again. I was in a hyperbaric chamber getting my cells oxygenated and yummy, super healthy, and thriving my loves. It was a wellness treatment, not a hospital scare. Just another day of David being unintentionally dramatic. But not all his posts are misunderstood. Back in 2013, he donated $5,000 to Safe Schools South Florida, a nod to his own brutal school experiences. That cafeteria incident haunted him, and he wanted to help LGBTQ+ students feel safer. I know what hell that can be, he said. It wasn't just money. It was deeply personal advocacy. Beyond the screen, David remains a working artist. His style, colorful, bold, slightly whimsical, comes from his time at Ringling School of Art and Design. In 2011, he partnered with Penny Lane Publishing to release prints of his work, including pieces from Color Splash. He wanted his art in people's homes, and now it is. As for his personal life, he's currently single. After the 2015 breakup with Glasgow, he admitted in 2019 he wanted marriage and children. I'd love to have kids, but I need a boyfriend first. In early 2025, he confirmed he's still searching, still hopeful. Then came the big teaser in September 2025, a new HGTV special about his Orlando home. In an Instagram story, his friend Lana Rice said fans would lose their tits over the transformation. The home now includes a custom first-floor theater, upstairs suite with pergola deck, and luxury finishes throughout. It's his most personal project yet. His net worth sits between $2 million and $4 million as of 2024-2025. He's made smart moves, furniture lines, decor partnerships, brand deals, art licensing. At $70,000 per episode, he's leveraged his fame into real business. But at the center of it all is design. That's what launched him. That's what sustains him.